Heading down to Baja again. Expedition 1 to the Enchanted Islands. It was me, my dive partner Eric Mack, and world-class and world record Spiro Julie Reif as we hopped in the truck and headed down to Gonzaga Bay. This is the Jefe of the Policía down here in Puertecitos. He's always helping out the tourists, and it's a good place to come down, man. Not like on the other side of Baja California. Down here, it's a completely different vibe. This remote area is located deep in the heart of Baja California, and there's only one way to get there, through some rough roads. Bahia Gonzaga, Bahia San Luis Gonzaga, Gonzaga Bay, Baja California. Beautiful conditions, flat water, big giant fish, about really comfortable in the air and really comfortable in the water. I don't know what day it is or what the temperature is, but I like it. Okay. I told him, Napi, whatever you do, don't let the tide go down. What does he do? Doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. Wake up in this morning, tide's dropped 4 or 5 feet. You know.
My jumper on, wearing myself out. Okay, we can move now.
He's good. Probably really don't even need to cover. Once you feel like, you know, part of the Down the fields. Talk about a packed up propeller. Wow, the field's packed. So, sometimes down here, run up into some really cool stuff. Giant squid roaming the shallows. There's one right here.
We were pulling in the anchor rope, and Napi was pulling it in, and I looked out in the water and saw 2 big old shapes just falling by. And then this radical spear fisherman jumps out of his boat, runs down the beach.
Running down the beach like Tarzan and jumps in the water and spears it.
First stick.
I heard squid and I grabbed the full spear.
Yeah. Sweet. Give him a mouth shot.
This is the 3 feet of water.
Bring that mouth around.
Watch out, dude. He'll grab a hold of
I
you.
know.
Grab a hold of you, bite a chunk out.
I was trying to get one.
Sucker.
There we go.
Inkin. We'll use that to write a book later.
Okay, we're out at the Enchanted Islands at El Choyulo Island. It's the first one south of this big one right here, which is the Enchanted Island, and we're gonna go after anything big. Hopefully world record leopard grouper, gulf grouper, parrotfish, burrito grunt, hogfish,
Pargo.
snapper, pargo, same thing, anything. If it's big, we're gonna shoot it. I love getting in the water down in Baja. The first thing we did was hunt for the 5 foot to 20 foot area for the fine scale triggerfish. Triggerfish is one of the best tasting fish in Baja and one of the easier ones to get. Great for a beginner Spiro or people who don't like to hit the deep, deep depths. tell it's a triggerfish by the way they swim. The top and bottom fins move at the same rate. They almost use their top and bottom fins to swim more than they use their tail. Sometimes they'll hole up in a small cave down at the bottom. I'll take a couple bands off my gun, get in there tight, and I'm able to get the fish. They try to stick themselves in there with their top dorsal fin. You gotta work them, dive on them again and again and again and work them out of the cave, but never give up on them. And eventually, they'll come loose. There's nothing better than moving slowly across the reef to find your fish. Hunting like a predator and moving quickly always scares them away. But if you relax, there's always one available. The front of the triggerfish has teeth. They can bite a chunk right out of you. A good bite from a triggerfish, and it's all over. This triggerfish decided to destroy a $500 lens with one bite. We continued our explorations down deeper beyond the 20-foot range for the Mexican hogfish. This fish likes to ditch freedivers in the rocks and crevices down in the reef. But, like I said, if you don't move like a predator and you keep things real calm, the patience will pay off and you can get yourself a couple of these tasty fish. Look through the cracks, caves, and crevices for this type of wrasse. They always stick real close to the rocks. Hold your position, don't move a lot, and they'll come right out of the rocks and give you the shot that you're looking for. Shot placement is always important. Take your time before your shot. That way when you hit them, you can get them in the spine, get them behind the gill, and it's one shot, one kill, and back to the surface. You can tell it's the Mexican hogfish by the long trailers coming off of its rear fins and the bright yellow stripe going down the side of its body. Remember, the females have a bright yellow tail and you want to stay away from those. We only hunt the males. They're good eating and it keeps the population up. always use a breakaway head on all my spearfishing equipment. That way, if I can't get a hold of the fish right away, I got a lot better chance of the fish staying on instead of throwing the spear. As we worked our way deeper, we had to remain calm. Shooting fish at depth requires different skills. You have to stay calm when you're coming up from 50 to 70 feet, because you don't want to have yourself a shallow water blackout. As we worked our way into the deeper depths, the fish started getting bigger. First, the big parrotfish. You can tell it's a parrotfish by their super bright colors. This one decided to get away from me and go back down and hide in the rocks, back down at 50 feet. Lucky for me, I was running my Rife float line and able to keep track of every fish that I shot from the surface, hooked to my buoy. Of all the fish I eat, I think the parrotfish is the prettiest one. This is Julie Rife working her way slowly through the kelp. Staying calm and focusing, she can spot out this large rainbow parrotfish even in the dark green water at 50 feet. A fish this big has to be taken care of properly. This fish is very, very powerful and can get out of your hands and needs to be taken out with a knife. We don't pay our cameraman real well. We just throw the beer in the water and make them dive to the bottom if they want to get some. This is freediver underwater cameraman Brad Clark as he takes a break. Gone to Baja style. Once we found the big school down deep, I went up into the shallows a little bit to work through the caves. In the daytime, you can find snapper in the caves. Look in the caves, back away, line yourself up for a shot, and you can get them down in there. Sometimes they're so deep, you gotta practically dig them out. I shot this one straight through the back of his tail. Lucky for me, I had a breakaway tip, and he wasn't able to get away. By the time I got my hands on him the second time, I made sure by taking out his gills and bringing him back to the stringer. is a bottom grouper. Something you need to know, always kill your fish before you take them off the spear. Otherwise, no fish tacos for you. Sometimes snapper can get wedged deep, deep down within the caves. It's at times like these when you have to really control your heart rate and try to remain calm. You have to dive on these fish over and over and over, but you never give up. Once you shoot a fish, it's your job as a Spearo to finish the job, get him out of the cave, and get him back to the stringer. You've got to be careful though. Pulling a fish out of a cave after diving on him several times while holding your breath can exhaust you and make you a perfect candidate for a shallow water blackout. This is a Mexican barred snapper. I had to get my arms in the cave and stick a knife into his body because I was afraid he was going to go out the other side. So I split his spine open so he wasn't able to swim. I always try to make sure that they're not wiggling before I put them on the stringer. If you finish the job the first time, then you won't have to worry about what the fish is going to do in the future. I had two big Mexican barred snapper. Julie was shooting snapper. We all had triggerfish, and we were starting to get to our limits. As we neared the end of the day and our stringer started to fill up, we focused on the bigger fish in the area between 50 and 70 feet. The large schools of snapper and grouper. Even though we would sometimes spook these big schools of fish as we dove down into them, if you were smart, you could follow one into a cave and get him there. Another tasty Mexican barred snapper. There were so many grouper around us that you could only see the ones you were shooting at. Here's Eric Mack as he goes in for a leopard grouper and doesn't even notice behind his fins two 30-plus pound grouper. But focused on his shot, he gets a headshot on the leopard grouper that was in his sights. Nothing beats the feeling of getting a big grouper out at the islands. It's amazing to see these massive fish down at the bottom. You try to keep yourself calm and keep a good aim. This big leopard grouper had me tangled in the kelp, and it was everything I could do to get it to the surface. That's when things started to get crazy. There were so many grouper down at the bottom. Here's Julie Rife as she goes down and swims right into a school of huge Gulf grouper. Moving slowly through the reef, she finally focuses on one target among the many. She levels off and takes her shot. This huge Gulf grouper was shot one time right to the head. Julie Rife, as a world-class Spiro, has the skills to be able to hit these depths of 70 feet, remain calm, and still focused to able to shoot this fish one time in the head and dispatch it cleanly. It takes an incredible amount of skill to accomplish such a thing, but Julie Rife is at the top of her game. Going back to the boat, the big grouper bolts and heads back to the bottom. Julie chased it down and got it. Her heart nearly stopped. She almost lost her big one, but still got it and just had a little bit more to add to her story back at the restaurant. Julie wasn't done though. She decided to finish off towards the end of her dive with what blew our mind: a world record size rainbow parrotfish. Check out Julie as she pulls this huge parrotfish from the cave. This parrotfish is being currently sent in to qualify for an international spearfishing world record. Way to go, Julie. Then the action really heated up. We kept diving on the big grouper. Here I am pulling out a huge snapper from a cave. This is one of the biggest snappers I got on the trip, and I was super stoked. This thing was gonna put fillets in my freezer for a long time. You can tell the grouper by their bass-like shape, almost looking like a giant black sea bass but with a lighter color. Definitely a predator. You can tell them at first sight. I go up, I look, there's so many grouper coming like this. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like,
It's called confusion.
I couldn't get a beat. Every time I'd get one, I'd see one bigger, I'd move to that one, and then next thing you know, I'm out of breath, and they're all gone.
Oh yeah, with a mid-range.
big one. I sat on that rock and I'm just waiting, and dude, I see some big dark shadows come up.
Did he use your
As soon as the thing came up, it just turned its cheek, and I went, bing!
I gotta pay homage. She
It just
found the
turned
skull.
like that. It didn't even move, and I just realized that it at the tip, because I saw it when it turned a little bit. I could see on the other side of the tip barely poked out, and on my side of the shaft, I could still see the flopper rivet.
Oh.
Like where it was like through, and I go, oh please! So I just inched it up. Inched it up, and then as soon as I get my hand on the shaft, I'm like, I hope please don't wake up. Please don't wake up. And that's when I just grabbed the thing, and y'all swim to the beach.
I said, that fish is big. You need to head in and take care of that on land.
Take the wild bull, Mr. Craigie. Here I am swimming with Galapagos tiger sharks strapped with bait all around my waist. Ran out of room on the stringers. Had to use the Braden bait barge system.
It's gonna have a yard sale.
I was just a little overweighted towards the end of the dive. As you might notice,
Kicking like crazy. Did you see me?
just a little overweighted towards the end of the dive.
Grab that wetsuit.
Yeah, grab that hood. $35, 34 and a half.
We dived down, boom, we were seeing Gulf grouper, leopard grouper, golden grouper, all in schools. Just wow, wow, nailing bait.
Oh, he's still snapping.
I'm telling you, that's why we stringered him up. That guy started flipping around in here. He's crazy.
28, yeah. Your squid.
Yeah, oh! He did barf up a 3-pound squid.
Rotted.
We're lining up the bodies right now. Getting what we call a body count.
There's a little trigger fish.
Big as the one you shot, Julie.
Check them out. Big dog.
You got 2 Gulfs. Got some leopards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leopards. 2 Mexican barred snapper. Giant parrotfish. Hogfish and triggerfish. Oh yeah!
Oh, sow belly.
And this one's a world record.
This
one's a little under.
Flex, Sully!
Yeah! From day 1 right here. Boom. Bingo. Still iced down. 100 pounds.
That's a giant ant, actually.
Oh, into the sun, dude. Here we go.
This is my jefe down here. This is Antonio. He's the manager down here at Alfonsinas at Gonzaga Bay. If you're gonna come down here to the islands, you come down, you gotta call Alfonsina's and get a reservation first. Don't just show up down here in the middle of nowhere and expect them to have rooms, because that might not happen. If you wanna come down to Alfonsina's, you have to make reservations. It's very important. You call 01-52-664-648-1951. Talk to Joaquin, he is the owner. Tell him that Gone to Baja Expeditions told you to come down here. He has the best hotel. Well, he's got the only hotel, but it's the best one. When you're down here, Antonio will take care of it. He's the man. If Antonio can't help you down here, leave. We loaded up our coolers, packed up our dive gear, and headed back to San Felipe. Something happened. These are brand new tires. We were driving. I hear you over there.
Well, I was playing with my banana.
We were driving back from Gonzaga Bay, and I spun a tire on a rock. I lost traction. The truck bounced, probably spun the tire, and tore a chunk out of the bottom of it. That's all it takes to be shut down here. One mistake, and luckily we know. Naughty. Fix it. That's why he is the manager of everything. Well, it's a good thing you stopped here.
Breakfast here and sushi.
The Baja Mar is a great place to go when you're done diving. Top quality accommodations and the best food in the area. Every time I come here, it's like coming home. I'm telling him, this is my homeboy right here. He fillets all our fish for us when we come into town and packs it for the ride. And we're telling him what species of fish we want to have for dinner. So we're gonna have leopard grouper and snapper prepared in 4 different styles. We're gonna have garlic butter. We're gonna have breaded and fried. We're gonna have, ¿qué es el otro manera? Mignon. Mignon, which they take the fish, they cut it into strips and wrap it with cream cheese, like this Philadelphia. And then the other one is called cilantro, which is like a green pesto sauce with cilantro. It's making my mouth water. If you ever come down here, you get some fish, you want them filleted the right way, and you want them packed up, you gotta pay Ulysses right here, and he'll handle it. You come to the Baja Mar restaurant, you ask for Ulysses, and you pay him, he'll fillet your fish up. He really likes his fish. Ulysses is a fish lover. Okay, see you later, Ulysses.
Say something.
Spectacular.
I don't know
Mouth
what to say.
watering.
I'm speechless.
Absolutely.
Look at that orange peel in the middle. Unbelievable place.
Oh my god. Where do we start?
Okay, ready?
Salud, pesetas amor, y
Ready
tiago.
for hunt.
To an
Right on.
excellent feast.
Qué bonitos ojos tienes debajo de esas dos cejas, debajo de esas dos cejas. Qué bonitos ojos tienes. Ellos me quieren mirar, pero si tú no los dejas, pero si tú no los dejas, ni siquiera parpadear. Malagueñas valerosas, besar tus labios quisiera, besar tus labios quisiera. Hello, hi, my name is Cesar Ayala Villegas, Gato. I live here in San Felipe, Mexico. Thank you.